Hello everybody, thank you for watching this vlog. Today is actually Monday, it's Monday afternoon. We got back from Budapest early hours of this morning. What I actually wanted to do in the vlog is I just wanted to film like a little makeup tutorial, not a tutorial, but just to show you guys how I do my makeup, because I do actually wear makeup when we go on holiday. I do wear makeup in the evening, I wear a little bit in the day, and I do like to wear some to the airport as well, purely just because why not? Don't mind the fact that I look like an actual 12-year-old boy. This is how I set up to do my makeup. I scrape my hair off my face, I put my headband on so my face is clean and ready to cake up, because I like a lot of makeup. This isn't for everyone. This isn't to say that you have to do your makeup this way or that it's good or better or whatever. It's purely just because this is how I like to do it. There's a little rat barking outside. So my face is clean. I have washed it and exfoliated, so I'm just going to go in with my moisturiser, and the moisturiser I use is the Neutrogena Hydro Burst. I get mine from Tesco, or you can get it in Savers, Superdrug, you know, all that, and it's like a gel. It looks like that. It's coming out, grab it. Yeah, it's like a watery creamy gel, and I just like that just put it all over my face and on my neck. And you always want to rub up on your face rather than drag it down, because that's where you get all your wrinkles and your lines. And it smells nice. It smells like ocean. What even does ocean fucking smell like? I don't know. So that's my moisturiser. For sort of primer or base, I don't really tend to use a primer as such. I used to use the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm for ages, but I just started to go off it. I think 'cause my skin sort of changed. I've always had very oily skin. Well, I say oily, I mean sweaty. I am a sweaty bitch, and I do struggle quite a lot to find makeup, powder, etc. that helps actually keep my makeup on. This is just what I'm using at the moment. Obviously I do have to touch up during the day just because it does start to rub off, and that's not because I wear too much all the time. It literally is whether I'm wearing a lot, a little, it ends up coming off. I've discovered this recently. It's the Nip and Fab Rose Gold Essence. If anyone is a makeup person or likes watching makeup videos or just likes makeup in general, this gold elixir from a brand called Vasali, I think it's how you pronounce it, and it's exactly a bottle like this, like a little squeezy pipette bottle, but it's about £50 and it has like little gold flakes in it. This is from Superdrug and it cost me about £15, I think. So, but it's lasted me quite a while. I think I've had it about 6-7 weeks now, and that's sort of using it on a more or less daily basis. So I think it's well worth it. Brightens up your skin, gives you a good base for your makeup, and yeah, I just really like it. So I just squeeze. This is running out though, so we'll need to get a new one soon, but best believe I'm gonna get every drop out of it till then. So next is foundation. I never really tend to stick to one foundation for too long, because there's always something new that I like to try. I am quite pale. I say pale, I'm literally see-through. I do wear foundation darker than my skin tone just because I do like to be a little bit darker. For example, if I'm wearing a top like this, I always make sure that it's all the way, I know that sounds disgusting, but that's just what I like to do, that it's all the way down my neck so that my face and my neck match colour, so I'm not unblended, because that's gross. So the foundation I'm going to be using is the Ordinary Coverage Foundation. I won't it focus. Have it in the shade 1.2 yellow undertones with gold highlights, SPF 15. So the brush I'm going to be using is the Olivia Hale foundation brush. I get this from Home Bargains. It's literally £1.99 or £2.99, and it's literally one of the best brushes I've ever used. And I've had like Real Techniques, Morphe, MAC, all stuff like that. So I think one thing that you learn about buying a lot of makeup, using a lot of makeup, is that expensive doesn't necessarily mean better, so it's good to just try a load of different things out and just see what works for you. I know that sort of seems like a lot, but I've got a big head, so that's what we do. And I know that looks ridiculous, but I promise it's all going to blend in, and if it doesn't, this is literally my life. like just shit falling everywhere. So yeah, I know this looks Jesus Christ, I know this looks really strange at the moment, but I promise it will all come together eventually. So yeah, what I do with my foundation, I always, like I said, bring it down my neck. I know it doesn't match right now, but it will. I put it on my ears just because there's nothing worse than having obviously a darker face and your ears being the colour that you really are, because it just looks weird. I've been caught by that a few times in pictures where I've got white ears. So when I actually put my foundation on initially, I'm not really too careful with it. What I do is I just sort of place it, I do blend it in a little bit, but I just sort of place it all over my face. I do take it over my eyelids, just because when I do makeup like this is sort of like everyday, and this tends to be a lighter makeup look that I would do. I know that to some people this might be really excessive, but this is just what I like. It's what I feel comfortable doing. Don't get me wrong, I still can go out with that makeup on and feel fairly okay about it, but it's just, makeup is personal preference, so what works for you might not work for someone else, and we're all entitled to wear as much or as little as we want. Once you've got the base layer on, I take whatever's left on the back of my hand and just sort of stipple it and press it in where I would like a bit more coverage. Like I said, I'm a bit of a sweaty bitch, so when I lose foundation and coverage and colour through sweating or getting hot, I tend to lose it up here on my forehead, because this is where I sweat, and on my top lip and on my cheeks as well. And then what I do is I take my sponge and I just go in and press over everywhere that I have put the foundation. I just think it makes it look a bit better. So I'm looking in my mirror down here just so I can see, because if I was just going by the viewfinder I would actually look like a knob, no more so than usual anyway. The next thing I do, concealer. Again, with concealer I tend to sort of go on the same wave as foundation. I don't really tend to stick to one for too long, because there's just so many out there, so many I want to try, so I tend to have sort of between 5 and 10 at a time. I am careful to not keep things for too long, because obviously I know with liquid, like, it can get a bit manky, like bacteria and things like that. So I am careful that I use it within a certain time frame. But the ones I'm using at the moment is the Revolution Pro Full Coverage Camouflage Concealer in C1, because like I said, I am very pale, so that is light enough to highlight under my eyes, but it is really good coverage as well. So if you've got places on your face that you need covering, so for example I do have some blemishes like that fucking mountain, it is really good at covering them as well. But I also mix it with this one. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, and this is in the shade Alabaster, which I believe is one of the lightest ones, just because I am Casper, the friendly ghost. So what I do is a few stripes under the eyes to get rid of them baggy bag boys, bit under the nose where my makeup tends to rub off, and then what I do with the Revolution one is I press my blender into it, get it on the end, and go over the top of the NYX one, and I bring it over my eyelid because I do wear a little bit of eyeshadow, so this is going to act as our eyeshadow base. This is actually a little bit dry, so I take my setting spray, which is the Revolution Pro Supreme Hold Finishing Spray. You can get this at Revolution Pro website, you can get it at Superdrug. It smells really good and it doesn't leave you looking chalky, which I find with some setting sprays it can leave you looking a little bit flat. So if you get any lines or anything like that where it's not quite blended, you can either take your foundation brush or your sponge or whatever it is you're using and just buff the lines away. I do like to use a stick foundation just for my bronzer, not for any, like, I don't like to contour too heavily when I wear makeup like this. Like I said, this is meant to be light For you, you might be thinking, Jesus Christ, she's put the Grand Canyon on her face. But this is what I like to do. This is a lighter look for me. So this is the Revolution. And yes, I know I'm using a lot of Revolution products so far in this video. I wish it was sponsored. Revolution, hit me up if you want to sponsor me, because I literally spend my life buying your products. This is the Fast Base Stick Foundation in F12, just a little stick like that. So what I do is I just draw around the edge and small lines down the side, down the sides of my nose, just to make it look not as beaky. You can take the same foundation brush, but just because this is my foundation brush, I don't like to make it darker, because if you go to put on foundation and you've got contour colours on there, it's just going to make you look a little bit muddy. So I do take a different brush. This is the Real Techniques, I think it's a blusher brush, but I've had it for years, but I use it for my face because that's what I like. So I just buff that in. Any extra, I don't use it on my jaw, just because I think if you use too much contour on your jaw, it can look a bit muddy, but that's just my personal preference. So whatever I'd have left on my brush, I just use the excess on my jaw rather than drawing a line down it like I have with my cheeks. Stick your chin out, pretend you got a jawline. And I'm just going to set my face. I do use quite a lot of powder just because I am really oily, and powder helps my makeup stay on. For everywhere that I put concealer, I use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in 001 transparent. I just use that on a brush like this and press it in. And then for the rest of my face, I use the LA Girl Pro Face powder, and this is in the shade 604 Creamy Natural. This is quite dark when you use a lot of it, so I literally just like that, and I just take that down my neck as well, just so, and just on the ears a little bit as well. So now what I do is I go back in with my setting spray, and because I do use a lot of creams and powders, I like to go in a couple of times just while I'm doing my makeup rather than once at the end. Feel like it freshens up my face and just makes the rest of my makeup apply a bit better. So do you know what I need? I need one of them like Spanish fans that you like fan out and go. Next is bronzer, and for bronzer I use MAC Give Me Sun. This is really old, I've had it for so long, but it's just the best bronzer ever. And while it's still in the pan, even though you cannot tell, I'm going to use it. So I take this on a Real Techniques blush brush. It's a blush brush, but it's quite wide, and your girl's got a wide face, so that's what I use it for. Put a bit up my cheeks, on my temples, and I just sort of, I'm not too careful where I put it, I just sort of dust it about. Next on the agenda, on the makeup agenda, is blush. The one I'm using is Revolution, again, hit me up. Makeup Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Peach Bliss. So I take that on a little brush. This is from a set I've got, so it's not got a name. It's not, I think this set was from Very. I got about 30. So tap it in, tap it off, shove it on your face. Does it look good? Probably not. So I go back in with my powder brush and just press everything in. That's what I like to do. And just little spritz on the tops of my cheeks, because I am about to go in with some highlighter. Highlighter is my favourite part of the makeup. The highlighter brush I use is the B Cosmetics concealer brush. This is from Superdrug, but it's just a really cute little brush, perfect for the tops of your cheeks. The highlighter I'm going to be using is the Glass Skin highlighter in 02. So what I do is So I just put a bit on the end of my nose. I do this with my finger just because it's a bit more accurate. Take this, dab it in, tap it off, and just place it. Oh, it's just so pretty. Putting it on like that, slightly just over the arches of your eyebrows, and a touch on your chinny chin. When I wear makeup like this, I don't use a lip liner, I don't use lipstick. I only really tend to wear that when I go out and I go sort of full force. My brows are tinted at the moment, and I had them tinted about a week ago, so they are a good colour at the moment. I am just going to put a bit of brow gel through them. This is the CYO brow and lash gel. This is from Boots, and this is in the shade fair/medium. It's gone wrong already. I told you I wasn't a professional, because this is what real makeup looks like when everything goes wrong and you have a meltdown, because it happens to us all, guys, gals, we know. So yeah, all I've done is I've put that CYO brow gel through my brows, and that's all I really tend to do on a look such as this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with just a little bit of eyeshadow just to give my eyes a little bit more depth and a little bit of colour. I'm going to be using the EYN Nude Matte Palette, and this is from Beauty Bay. It's literally £6, I think. But it's brilliant. It looks like that, and it's just your typical everyday nude matte, good fun stuff. So I'm going to be going in with the shade Bare Necessity, like the Jungle Book. Look for the bare necessity. And a big fluffy blending brush like that, and I'm just gonna put it on my eyes, and then I'm going to take a slightly smaller blending brush, and I'm going to take the shade Cinnamon, which is this one here, just a little bit, and then just focusing that on the outer corner of the eye, as it just gives it a little bit more definition, a little bit more colour, makes you look a little bit more sexy. All that's left for me to do is just apply a little bit of mascara. When I was away, I did have eyelashes on. I do have a few left, but quite a few of them did fall out while I was away, so I will be getting them done again soon. For now, I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara, and the mascara I'm going to be using is the Maybelline Snap Mascara. Again, with mascara you do have to be careful not to own it for too long, just because it can get a bit manky. Shelf life of a mascara tends to be about 3 to 4 months, depending on how often you use it and things like that. And this is in the shade 01 Pitch Black. So all I'm going to do is just, I don't like too much mascara just because I think it just makes my eyes look a bit weird. So I do just apply a small amount on my eyelashes, like that. Obviously my hair will not be staying like this. So this is how I did my makeup for going to the airport to go to Budapest. Obviously, like I said, this is filmed on Monday, and we actually went on Friday, or early hours of Friday morning. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions or anything else you'd like to see in terms of the makeup or travel vlogs, any ideas, anything like that, please do leave it in the description box or send me a message if you follow me on my social media. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this makeup tutorial, and hopefully see you soon. Bye!